River is a natural river. Gentleman right over here. That's it? Really, sir? Really? Really? He's absolutely correct. Yes, it is. It was artificial and be called the San Antonio Canal. So this river begins up north from here, only 4 miles away. The source, an underground lake called the Edwards Aquifer. The aquifer measures 180 miles in length, 30 miles in width. From there to the underground spring has done 4 miles, makes this U-shape that we're in, called the Horseshoe Bend. It goes further down south, 138 miles, reaching the Guadalupe River, and it goes 10 more miles out, reaching the Gulf of Mexico. So the natives used to call this river Yanajuana, which means peaceful waters in their language. And it also explains why the 5 missions that we have here in San Antonio is near the river's edge. They need a water source for themselves, for their cattle, for their crops, also for their mills. So if you ever get a chance to go to Mission San Jose, it's not too far from here, they still got the working mill from the 1700s there on display for you. Pretty neat. Now over time, they did put 2 small extensions to this river. One is a flood control channel, about the size of a football field, and then the T formation called a man-made extension. I'll get back to that. Also, a little trip, you're going to find out we have quite a bit of German influence here. Dates back to the 1800s and quite a few conflicts in the country. So during that time, those people migrated from Germany into South America. Mexico is right here to Texas. So back in the 1850s, German was the dominant language here in San Antonio. You'll hear in our music, like the Tejano and Norteño music, the instruments like the accordion, the tuba, even down to some of the Mexican folklore dances. Compare that with polka. Also a lot of our cuisines out here. People tend to, I'll get back to that just a little bit later as well. Well folks, take a look. We have some wildlife over here. Off to our left-hand side, a couple of San Antonio chupacabras. They're ferocious. Don't let their cuteness fool you. And off to the right, folks, this is La Villita, to the left, sorry about that. This is La Villita, which means little village in Spanish. Now back in the 1700s, this is where the Spanish colonial soldiers and their families had their camp. And the reason being, it sits on high ground of the river for flooding. Flooding back in those days. 1850s, the Germans settled up in those areas. 2 of those houses see right behind me, these are restaurants. Now, to get to the historical village, just walk up the stairs off to our left-hand side. We're going to bring us to the Arneson River Theater. And this is actually where they filmed Miss Congeniality. The swimsuit competition to the right. And off to the right, you're going to see 5 bells. They do represent the 5 missions here in San Antonio. Of course, the largest bell represents the Alamo. And folks, does anybody know the true name of the Alamo?
Cottonwood.
Cottonwood, no. That's actually a nickname from Alamo itself.
Wow.
It's actually called Mission San Antonio de Bolero, otherwise known as Mission Bolero. Cottonwood is actually translated to Alamo right there. That's what they think they came from right there, sir. Our president is Rosita's Bridge, named after Rosita Fernandez. She used to perform back on the stage for 26 years. She was also featured in the movie The Alamo, John Wayne. You know the better one? I like my classics. And off to the right is the Briscoe Western Art Museum. And then we have Santa Ana's Sword in Pancho Villa style. Now throughout the river walk, you'll see quite a bit of waterfalls and fountains. They're not there just to look pretty, they're actually functional. So what it does, it aerates the water for the fishing of some of our wildlife ready to finish up. Speaking of wildlife, what you see out here? Well, we do have ducks and egrets and ducks, turtles, ducks, possums, ducks, raccoons, ducks, snakes, ducks, bats, ducks, wooden goose, more ducks. I bet we have ducks. And he's pretty well out here, so people tend to feed up those tortilla chips in the restaurant. Don't get me wrong, as boat captains, we love our ducks. Good old orange glaze on top, potatoes on the side, those little delicious. All right. Well, please watch your head underneath this bridge. I'm sure we're passing the height requirement. If you do not hear the certain thump, that means you failed, okay? Now this bridge is actually called Presa, which means dam or barricade in Spanish. Back in the 1700s, there used to be a dam straight across here. Used to divert water from Mission Concepcion. Oh, take a look over there, more wildlife, a miniature bear. Look little thing, all right? Right. And over the right, we got Marriage Island. We usually have about 1 wedding a day here. Now, what kind of makes it unique is the root system of the cypress tree forms it. And it's very good luck to get married on this island. I should know. I've been married there myself. 3 times. Looking for the 4th. Now, the middle sculpture that's on that island, that's called Father Massenet's Table. Okay, that's there to celebrate the very first Catholic Mass on the river, a long time ago. Folks, that was back on June 13th, 1691. That was the feast day of San Antonio. So the Spanish settlers, the French pre-settlers, were the Father in it. Well, they Christian ruled the San Antonio River. Right around the city adopted this name back in 1718. Which means, folks, last year was actually a tricentennial. Now we're passing through the old Mills Crossing. Now back in the 1800s, wagons used to pass this portion of the river. Extremely shallow and hard path. So the settlers used to come right through here with their wagons and grain off the Nat Louisville. Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders used to pass through this area quite often. Now take a look right in front of the boat there. See that red dome building? Yeah, that's my brother-in-law's vacation home. Pretty snazzy, huh? Yeah, my sister did well. It's otherwise known as the Bexar County Courthouse. Maybe not so well. Go back in 1896, they called it the Big Red. Made of red granite and sandstone. The oldest, largest still operational courthouse here in Texas. Now there's a dog right in front of us. Can anybody tell me what type of breed of dog that is? No? Nobody has a clue. You're telling me nobody on this boat has ever seen a Texas Chihuahua? That's a Texas Chihuahua. You gotta remember, everything's bigger in Texas. Down to our left-hand side. The octagon-shaped high-rise here is called the Tower of Life. It opened up back in 1929. 404 feet tall. It makes it 30 stories high. Built in the neo-Gothic architectural design. Now, take a look on the very first floor. We got some ugly-looking faces there, kind of look like gargoyles, but they're actually called grotesque. Have more of a human form to them. Gargoyle is actually rain spots. We'll see those very top of the building. Now, does this structure work for anybody? No, don't remember the movie Ghostbusters, the building in the movie? If folks take a closer look at it, you're going to realize that that's not it. That kind of looks like it, though. Now, it's all these older buildings I'm showing you. We have a modern one. You see the right over here. It used to be the public library from 1968 to 1998. Now it's called the National Center. There's a restaurant there called Biga's on the Bank. That's where they film Top Chef here in San Antonio. All right, take out your cameras. You're going to see one of the best views out here. I don't want you to miss it. Take a look behind the boat. There you go, folks. See yourself a wonderful picture of your boat captain. Or the Tower of Life behind him. You can see with that sun in your eyes there. Now, we're going to pass right on top of a floodgate, okay? Before we reach that green light, take a look at these small pony walls off to the side. And you can see some shiny markings, so you get an idea how the floodgate works, okay? This is like a drawbridge on a castle. When there's floodwaters, that pops up, creates a barricade, protect the natural bed of the river. Everything behind us, that channels out those floodwaters going north to south, flood control channel. Now, folks, this area of the river, we're going from 4 feet of water to 20 feet of water in depth right over here. Flood control channel, okay? So afterwards, the Army Corps of Engineers decided to cut this area out to bypass that natural bed of the river shaped like a horseshoe. Now, what the city wanted to do originally is that to take the dirt from this area and fill in the rest of the horseshoe portion of the river to build on top. But we had two ladies that actually put a stop to that, thank goodness. They were Emma Edwards and Rena Maverick Green. And they co-founded the San Antonio Conservation Society and ended up protecting the natural bed of the river. And then shortly thereafter, a 27-year-old architect and designer by the name of Robert Hutman submitted the architectural plan for Riverwalk. The city adopted his plans during this time, but couldn't get started. It was the Great Depression, no money. So they finished up this project back in 1941. And Robert Hutman, well, he is considered the father of the Riverwalk. And he got his idea by it. Traveled to Venice, Italy. And speaking about romantic cities, take a look off the left here on the chain link fence. Does anybody have an idea we got a little tradition from? Huh?
Paris.
Heat Betty, Paris, France. Called love locks. Now, how the tradition works? Over here, folks, as soon as a couple gets married, they come out here and put the lock on that fence. And the most important thing they have to do after that to seal the deal is to throw those keys in the river, okay? This is actually to symbolize everlasting love. Now, you're going to notice about 1/4 of those locks are the combination padlocks. Yeah, we like to call those the prenups. Move right along. All right. Oh, you heard the translation there, huh? All right, well, take a look off the left over here, straight up the stairs. It's one of the oldest cathedrals in the United States, built back in 1731. The San Fernando Cathedral. This is where the remains of the heroes of the Alamo. Their ashes are up in there. It is open to the public. Now, folks, you see it right now? 9 o'clock tonight, that cathedral will look very different. There's a light show. There'll be 2 projectors casting a very artistic and beautiful story. Music in the background, highlighter. They have this light show every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First show is at 9, last show is at 10. And all you have to pay is attention. Now, all the rest of the Riverwalk up, so the additional 2.5 miles down south, down up north. Boy, I still have the coffee hasn't kicked in yet. So you can take a walk up there to the Pearl, right? If you don't feel like walking, well, you can go hop on board a shuttle boat. I'll get back to that service just a little bit later, okay? One of the major questions that I get out here is, why do you guys do the tour through the whole thing? A narrated tour, folks, to do the whole thing takes 2.5 hours. Once in a blue moon, I do have to do it. One was actually for the Travel Channel. That wasn't too bad. But the other one was kind of neat. It was actually for the Princess of Belgium. Yeah, the boats were all decorated out with a bunch of flowers, had the Belgian flag on board this thing. Secret Service was also on board. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Now, to the left over here is a 400-year-old tree. It's called the Twin Cypress. It does have another name. The Sniper Tree. Now, back in the days of the Battle of the Alamo, there was a Mexican sniper that was up there, clicking off Texians as they came to Water's Edge. Don't need to worry. This week is on vacation. Now, we pass through another floodgate, number 3. Corresponds with the other one that we just went through, but this one here shuts down very differently. Get close like a guillotine. The door overhead weighs 3 tons. As we go nice and slow for the whole dramatic effect. Since they do say it's haunted, if you believe in those type of things. That is 15 minutes lower. It's been about the flood of 1921 earlier, a couple of visuals. First one was an urban legend. Take a look off the right. We got a tree around a Bella restaurant. Now they say the flood of 21 deposited a seed in a crack of that wall, and now we have a fig tree growing out. So folks, we actually believe that might be the very first Chia pet. And off to the left here, cream colored building, is the Druid and Suite. Back in 1921, they used to be the public city building when they used to pay the utility bills. A couple of months after it opened up, that's when we had the flood of 21, to where those flooded waters pushed up the chandeliers that furnished directly on those windows. Now to the right is the Esquire Tavern. They have the longest wooden bar in the state of Texas. Now the Esquire was actually established since 1933. What makes it the oldest bar here on the Riverwalk. Now check this out. Before 1933, that used to be a barber shop. 2 minutes after Prohibition ended, it was a fully stocked bar. Things that make you go, Yeah, that it was a speakeasy. And it still kept its charm for the 1930s. All right, and off to the right is my twin brother, Juanito. Say hello to Juanito over there. Yeah, he's my twin brother. Don't judge. Mother loved me more. And he's right in front of the Aztec Theater. Theater was actually created a combination of a Mayan Aztec architectural design. Go back in 1926, it's time of movie theater. Today, the House of Blues owners, we have live performances up in there. Now, for my Tejano music lovers, do we have any? Moving right along then. I'll say it anyway. Directly in front of us is the famous but unofficial Salinas Bridge. Named after late singer Selena Perez. Yeah, her husband proposed to her right up on top of it. Oh, sweet. Well, at least in the movie, Selena. And not to be confused with the Jennifer Lopez Bridge. Now, the most photographed hotel out here has actually been in many magazines out to our direct left-hand side, which is the Omni La Mansion Hotel. Built back in 1853. Is St. Mary's School of Boys. It later became St. Mary's Academy, and after that, St. Mary's Law School. To the graduating students, lawyers, they came back in the 1960s because they heard about the World's Fairs in town, purchased the building, made the hotel it is today. When you get a chance to go to the lobby there, it was the same place back in 1853, when restored. Now, next building is an optical illusion, all right? Take a look off on the front left of this building. Notice that round white sign that says Bubba Gump. Take a look at the very top of that building. It looks like a freestanding ball about to fall on you. It looks all the way up to the very top. Don't forget to say ooh and ah. You'll see things from Egyptian mummies, Greek and Roman statues, weaponry, furniture, you name it's in there. Now there's 2 art museums to go to. And the end point is called the Pearl, where there's about 13 different restaurants around franchise. They have a very selective palate, like more of the gourmet cuisine. That's the spot to go to. There's a bunch of boutiques up there in that area. So if this is something you're interested in, folks, just go back to the ticket office. They'll give you more information on it, okay? Now, we have quite a bit of vegetation that's out here. Natural trees to the river, both cypress trees and the oak tree. There are these other ones like the orange tree directly overhead. Even a lemon tree on the side of that bridge. And we have quite a bit of tropical plants as well, even down to banana trees. Now, there's a little trick on keeping these tropical plants alive during the wintertime. They're hybrids. A combination of plants put together into one. For instance, folks on my right-hand side, feel free to touch those leaves right there. But that'd be a very rare Amazonian fern with a hybrid of Texas poison ivy. Don't worry, the rash will go away within a week. I'm just joking, folks. It takes about 2 weeks. Now, if you get yourself lost out here, or if you just need some information, just start looking for a person with a hat like mine. The only difference is they're probably better looking. They have a black band on their hat wearing a yellow shirt. So they're your city ambassador. Give a guy the right direction, give you a free map. And don't need to worry, they're not going to sell you anything. Just figure it'll be out there. Now, as soon as we pass this bridge, take a look at all the media to the right. You can see a lovely bronze statue of San Antonio de Benguar. Now, those we get from Portugal, the 1968 World's Fair, and their patron saint of their country, over in San Antonio. Now, if you'll see Anthony there, he's also patron saint of lost children, lost cell phones, lost car keys, lost boyfriends. Yeah, any type of lost items for you. Now, another time to join us to get a chance, the month of December during Christmas time. It's gorgeous out here. Got millions of lights on the trees, also on the boats and on the bridges. And during that time, we have specialty boats with carolers, mariachis, orchestra bands, all the lights, music, decoration, really something else. So San Antonio doesn't really get snow, and this is actually our version of a sleigh ride. So yeah. Now, over the right over the wall, you're going to see a very pointy roof with a cross on top. That is St. Joseph German Catholic Church. Built back in 1868 by the German immigrants. Now, when they built that church, they brought some very beautiful stained glass from Munich. They still hold the German Mass, and they do sing in their native tongue every 4th Sunday of the month. That's a tradition there. Now, another place to see here, if you haven't already, is the Mexican market, otherwise known as the Mercado. You do some souvenir shopping. It's a very good restaurant up in the area as well, Fish and Food Network. Now, the Mexican market, not on a river walk, it's about 7 blocks away from you. So what you do, if you like, go up here to Alamo Street Bridge, right in front of us. That's where you hop on board the Via Trolley, which is dirt cheap, $3 an all-day pass. Now, that same pass you use on the Via Bus 40, it'll take you to missions out here to your historical sites. A lot of people don't realize that the Alamo is only one mission out of 4 additional missions that we have out here. People say this is the 4th major change. Now, from that bridge right in front of us, there's a little section behind us that we're leaving. It's called the man-made extension, the artificial portion of river that was created the World's Fair of '68. The whole section behind us does have a cement bottom to it. So once we pass this bridge, we'll go right back to the natural bed of the river here with the muddy bottom. And as soon as we take a left, you're going to notice we're right back where we started from. Which means we're coming to the end of the tour. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for joining us here in the San Antonio Riverwalk. Hope we brought some history to you. And a better appreciation vacation site here with us.